you mentioned when the memo stated that there were hundreds, if not, over a
Over
thousand.
1,000 victims. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we never hear about them. And maybe some of them prefer it to be that way, but it bothers me because other victims seem to have be in better positions, and it's not a knock on them necessarily. It's just I feel there's been so many others that just been forgotten on the wayside, and I have to imagine maybe some have fell into drug abuse and will never seek any justice, unfortunately. And that's where I think a lot of this, like you were stating, people get caught up with other stuff, the footage and all this other crap. But the real victims are the ones that have been forgotten, in my opinion, that that will probably, unfortunately, never see justice. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the vast majority have been forgotten.
Yeah.
The government has come out and said, Pam Bondi initially said hundreds of victims. I agree with that. The government has come out and said over 1,000 victims. I agree with that. The Epstein Victims Compensation Program was set up to give settlements to Epstein's victims. And one of the architects of it is David Boies, who is a bad actor. And he conscripted Stan Pottinger, who's also a bad actor. And I believe that Pottinger, he had intelligence connections going back for quite some years. And so with the program, Epstein Victims Compensation, you had basically an intelligence operation, trying to cover up an intelligence operation. And if you look at that, Epstein trafficked underage girls for 25 years. So there's well over 1,000. And 225 women applied for compensation from the Epstein Victims Compensation Fund. 150 were awarded and 12 declined compensation of that 150 because if you took money from that program, you had to sign an NDA, which said that you weren't going to go after any of your other perpetrators, which is shutting down victims in a way that the government couldn't shut them.